Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, as I promised in the last one, is about weight loss journey, mental health that is related to that process, eating disorder, eating habits, and everything that includes this process. Before I begin today's video, I really want to bring your attention to my country's situation, Georgia. Right now in my country there is endless protesting happening because of the pro-Russian government that was not legitimately elected through the elections, and people are protesting, one, the fact that they cheated on elections. Two, obviously they are pro-Russians and they don't present our interests. Three, they right now decided to back off from pursuing our union to European Union, which is against the will of Georgian people. Therefore, people have been protesting for 2 weeks in Georgia. And if you check out Georgia, it's a country, Sakartvelo as we call it. If you check some information about it, I would be very happy. And if you also share the information and the whole situation that is happening in my country, that would be very helpful, because we're a small country and not everyone is aware of what is happening. But at the same time, European Union and support of European Union is very important for us, and we also want to become part of it. So the whole process that is happening right now is crucial. It's one of the biggest protests that has happened in Georgia, but at the same time I have to notice that throughout this government and throughout this century generally we have been protesting and we have been on streets for a really long time. So I would really appreciate if you guys shared some information about my country and just raise your awareness about the topic, because obviously we're all part of human race and everybody's rights and everybody's lives matters, and right now ours is in danger. So I'm sending a lot of love to my Georgian people. მიყვარხართ ძალიან და დიდი იმედი მაქვს რომ თავისუფალ საქართველოში ვიცხოვრებთ და ჩვენს თაობას მაინც აღიარსება მშვიდად ცხოვრება. ძალიან მომაყობთ თქვენით და ძალიან მიყვარხართ და გთხოვთ თავს გაუფრთხილდით. Okay, so back to the topic now. Today I want to discuss the whole journey I've been going through with weight loss and self-love, gaining confidence and becoming healthier, building healthier body, and the struggles that I'm facing. So first of all, I want to start with the fact that whether you are trying to lose weight or gain weight, build muscle, whatever it is that you are doing right now, the most important part to remember is that you should be starting from a point of self-love, and that's the first mistake I made in this process. I've been really trying to start loving myself and accepting myself the way I am, because I know I have a lot of great qualities and I should be more appreciative of the fact that I am a good person and I am smart and I am strong and I'm very determined and I love leadership and I love learning and I love spirituality, I love God, and so many things, so many qualities that you guys have, I'm sure of, and we just don't recognize it on a daily basis. So on whatever journey you are, when you want to improve yourself and the quality of your life, you should be starting from the point of self-love, because without really loving yourself and appreciating yourself, it's really hard to change your routine, change your body, change your lifestyle, become more successful, have more finances, and so on and so on. So that was the mistake that I made, and why I would say I made the mistake is because even till this day I'm working on it. I'm working on accepting myself and loving myself and feeling confident in myself. And when you really struggle with this part, it becomes hard to, in my case, to start a weight loss journey, because I kind of, without me really realizing, developed an emotional eating disorder. My stomach makes sounds, okay, let's forgive it. But I, without realizing, as I said, developed emotional eating disorder, and I think it comes from so many emotions that I've been building in myself, and I'm really the type of person that doesn't really love to talk about what I'm going through at the moment. And in my therapy journey, which hasn't been that long actually, and I wish it to be longer, and I really would want to go back to therapy, but I realized with my doctor what I was going through, and the therapy was very helpful. So yeah, I realized that in this process of self-denial and not feeling confident in myself and having so many emotions that I didn't express, I kind of put all this stuff into food and eating to a point where it's getting painful. It's getting painful for your body, for your mind, because you realize that you don't need that, you don't feel comfortable anymore, but you keep on going, and all you can think about is food. And it's a very painful and sad process, but to analyze that the core of it is the love and respect you should have for yourself, it's mind-blowing and it's amazing, and it's a start of something. So definitely pay attention to how you love yourself, because when you're pushing yourself to a point where you're in pain and you're still craving something and you're still looking for food, that means that you don't really appreciate your body, and you're willing to put it in this pain and in this misery, and you're kind of punishing yourself for other things. So if you watch Liz Wizard or Wizard Liz, she is amazing. I love her, and she talks a lot about trauma and healing trauma and how it's important in every step of the way. And it is so true, because there are hidden things in ourselves and in our lives that lead us to certain actions in the present. So definitely pay attention to that and focus on loving yourself and accepting yourself the way you are right now. Of course, like, my goal is to have a stronger body, and I want to lose some weight, and I want to be healthier, but I also love this body that does so many things to get me to that point. So it is just so unfair to hate on yourself right now and think that in the future, when you lose those, I don't know, my stomach again, maybe you want to lose like 5 kilos, or maybe you want to lose 20 kilos. Everybody's goal is different. Maybe you want to gain 10 kilos or build a muscle, whatever it is that you have a goal, to just think that, oh, in the future I'm gonna love myself because I will be in my dream body. That's not gonna work, because if you don't love yourself right now, you will not take the action. Maybe at the moment you have a motivation, but eventually you will not be taking actions consistently, and it will not bring you to a point of which you're dreaming of right now. Now, how do we get there? So for me, the starting point, since I am a religious person, starts with God and praying and analyzing that this is my body. This is the body that God gave me, and I was blessed to be able to live on this planet, and I should take care of myself because God loves me so much. It's so amazing that it is able to love everybody at once with equal love, and how dare I to not love myself? So that's the starting point kind of for me, and praying really helps me a lot. And I notice that whenever I'm going through something and I pray about it, the next day when I pray, and I have this Bible app and it introduces the prayers to you on daily basis, I always catch myself seeing the things that I was seeking for in those prayers, and it's just amazing and it's so powerful. And just praying and letting these thoughts and emotions, as I said, the emotions that I was building in, right now through prayer I can express it and I can give it to God, and it takes off so much weight off my shoulders, and it's such a beautiful process. So for me, what was really helpful is praying. And also many years ago, not many, but like maybe 3-4 years ago, I discovered meditation. And ever since that, I've been really interested in meditation as well. And it is something that calms my mind down and my body. And that is also something super helpful. So these activities are basically things that helps you show love to yourself. And as you are doing this, you become proud of yourself because you're like, okay, I did this for myself. That's amazing. I feel amazing right now. And the more you do this and the more you practice this, you realize that you're falling in love with yourself in the process. So this is the starting point of building some sort of discipline. Now, in this starting point and beginning journey, if you haven't heard or haven't read, I would recommend Atomic Habits. This by James Clear. This is the book that really, really changed my mindset and changed my view on so many things. And most importantly about daily habits and discipline. Okay, so this is something that we don't really pay attention to a lot because we are caught up in a routine. Everybody's waking up in the morning, going to work, coming back in the evening, having dinner, and then depending on what type of person you are, your day goes in, like maybe you stay at home or you go out with friends, whatever it is. And we have these routines, and sometimes it is so hard to build your own discipline because of the work and because of the responsibilities. That we sometimes start to eat unhealthy because we are tired and come back in the evening and something ready like a pizza or like some sort of order, it feels more comfortable and convenient, and that's what we do. But what is really important is to build your routine and keep the discipline and keep moving forward and forward. And what James Clear says is that never skip more than one day from your discipline and your plan, because if you skip 2 days, then the third one will follow up, then the first one, and it kind of builds a new habit already. So what's important is that with these routines and with these things that have become natural and normal, try to have your own plan and idea of what you want to do and how you want to form your lifestyle so that it improves in the future and the quality of your life becomes better. So for me, basically, I start my morning with prayer. And what I've been trying to implement this few days and weeks, and I've been struggling, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I'm trying to still work through it, is working out in the morning. Because I realized that when I work out in the morning, one, I feel so much better. I feel so accomplished. I feel very energized, actually. Two, if I delayed for the evening, usually in the evening I'm already tired and I'm constipating. Sometimes I get very lazy and I really have to push myself, and it gets to the point I work out at like 9 p.m., which is like too late for me sometimes, and my body is already exhausted and all I can think about throughout the workout is giving up. So that's not very productive. So building some sort of discipline that works for you is amazing, and following it. And what happened with me and what I struggled with was keeping it up for as long as I have motivation. And once the motivation is gone, and it is always gone, you can never base something on a motivation because at some point it will be gone, okay? We don't always have the highest periods, especially as women. When we have a whole cycle that lasts for like 28 days average, it is really hard to keep motivation because our mood changes. the changes that our body is going through internally, it affects our mood, and it's not always going to be the highest highs. So you have to understand that yes, you have motivation right now, and it's a great time to start moving and start creating that program, let's say, for yourself, but at some point it will be gone. So you should try to work on creating this habits, little habits that just becomes normal thing. For example, when we wake up in the morning, what we do is wash our faces, brush our teeth. For me, it has become so normal to drink a glass of water. I cannot imagine starting a day without drinking water. That's like impossible thing. And so those things become habits, but it takes time, and it's also very easy to fall out of it. So try to kind of implement things. And what James Clear does so well is that makes these things very simple for you. And it's very important. Simplicity has become very important for our mind, because sometimes when we're motivated, we push ourselves like crazy, and then it's very hard to maintain that routine when we are not as motivated. So just simplicity, like start from maybe 10 minutes of stretching, and then you can kind of like extend the time and make the workout more intense, and so on and so on. Or like go to the gym, and he has this very interesting example, going to the gym every day just for 5 minutes or 2 minutes, get there for 2 minutes, come back home. And it becomes a habit of going to the gym every day, and that is a routine. And then obviously when you get there, you're like, okay, I got here, now what? And you realize that, okay, I paid for this thing, I paid to enter here, I come here every day for 2 minutes, might as well do a workout. And it's so interesting that we can trick our mind in that way, and I think that's super interesting. I haven't tried it, but for me what works is just doing the workout. And what I've realized also is that after like 2 weeks of working out, that program was not already enough for me. When I was struggling in the beginning, I mastered it to the point where I wanted more, I needed more, so I made it harder, and I am doing harder classes right now. And so what happens is you get used to something, and then when it feels so good, and when you know that it feels so good, you kind of crave more, and you realize that you can do better. So the starting point is very important, and for me, it's always okay to start with the motivation, but then kind of to follow up. What happens to me is I have this like really motivated part, which is like first 10 days, let's say. When I move to the second week, I already start to kind of like become a bit lazy, put it away with food. I have like, I'm cheating a little bit with diet and all. And by the end of 2 weeks and the beginning of third week, I'm already kind of like, oh, I missed like 3 days of my workout, and I overate a few times, and blah blah blah. And so that's the thing, because it was so motivation based, that when I lose motivation, everything just goes with it, and that is really wrong, and that is something that I'm working on. So I want to also clarify that I'm in a process right now. I haven't built the best routine, or I'm just in a process of learning, and I'm just sharing my experience as I'm going through it right now. As we're talking about weight loss, and this is the process that I'm going through, I kind of gained, for me, in my eyes, significant amount of weight in this past year, which kind of happened so quickly that I didn't even realize. But right now I'm trying to build my body in a healthier way. This is something that I wanted for years, and I think like I got this right now, okay? But for me, the trouble has been emotional eating, and with a lot of changes that has been going on in my life, I kind of have been struggling emotionally and mentally, and that has affected my eating habits. I've been overeating, and I have been craving food that is not quite healthy. I have actually videos of me prepping meal plans, and if you're interested you can watch that. Really delicious meals, and I kind of followed for like 3 menus, let's say, which would be in total 12 days of dieting. But then I had some struggles, and it's been a process, it's been a journey. I've really been struggling, and it's really hard, but you gotta remember that you're doing this for yourself. And if you want to reach those goals, and if you want to get in the shape that you've been dreaming of, you gotta struggle first. And there's nothing more beautiful than seeing results after hard work. And it's such a beautiful thing. Remember, like, the project that you made, that you spent a lot of weeks maybe working on, and it was hard sometimes. It was hard to keep being creative, it was hard to focus on it, but in the end you see the result, and it's so satisfying, and it makes you feel so happy. That's just life. Everything beautiful, everything empowering, everything inspiring, everything that makes us happy is coming from the process of struggling first. It needs a lot of hard work. Without that, nothing would happen. Like, nothing is more valuable than the things that you achieved yourself with a lot of hard work. Then you realize how valuable it is. And so I've been trying to keep myself in this mindset of like, I love myself, and I want to be the best version of myself, and I want to have the best quality of life. And so I have to push myself, and it's a good push also. Like, the pain we're going throughout the workout, it's the best pain, because you can feel that you're working that muscle. You know that it's gonna show in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and it's a beautiful feeling. But sometimes our mind sabotages us so much that it's really hard to go against it. And for me, it's been a struggle with food. And I recently listened to the Mel Robbins podcast, and she had Harvard's Dr. Amy Shah as her guest, and I definitely recommend the podcast, because if you are struggling with eating and have problem with overeating, that's a great podcast to listen to. And she basically mentioned very important things that I would love to highlight, because that's something that's stuck in my mind and I want to implement it in my daily basis. So first thing she says, you had a great meal and you feel like you're not fully satisfied. There's a difference between hunger and craving. Hunger is very natural. It happens to everyone because our body requires food. Even though it could last like months without food, it requires food for energy, for maintaining our health, and so it's very normal to feel hungry. Now, when you have a meal very accurate to your normal proportions and you feel like, okay, this should be enough, but you don't feel fully satisfied. You feel full physically, and you can feel that your belly is full. You almost feel like you couldn't fit in more food, but you just are not satisfied. That's a craving. And when you have those cravings, sometimes it's very hard to resist, especially if you have some sort of eating disorder and you've been struggling with food and your relationship with food. It's very hard to control that. And the great advice that she gave is to think in the moment. Would you love to eat a bowl of vegetables in that moment when you have this craving? And if the answer is no, because it's like a bowl of vegetables, I just had my meal, I'm full, a bowl of vegetables is just not what I want right now, that means that you're not hungry, one, and that is a craving. And to recognize craving as it is and to see it in real form, that's very important, because now you know what you're facing, right? And to kind of tell yourself that, okay, so this is an unhealthy habit that I have. maybe if I go for a walk, or if I drink a glass of water and take some time away from it and just let my mind and my body take a pause, like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. If I'm still left with this feeling, maybe I can treat myself with a little bit of, like, I don't know. Also, it should be in normal like proportions, because what we tend to do during cravings is overeat. And so it is very important to, one, keep all the unhealthy stuff that you feel is unhealthy for you away from your counter, from your fridge, from your house generally, because even though you might be craving something, at least you don't have it around, and you kind of work your way through this process without actually overeating. But what's good is to, one, ask yourself a question: would you eat a bowl of vegetables at the moment when you have this feeling of like emotional emptiness? And two, pause from that moment. Give yourself 15, 20, 30 minutes if you still have that feeling. Also, it's good to drink some water, because sometimes our brain confuses thirst and starvation from each other, and sometimes we're just thirsty and not hungry. And so kind of give yourself that time and drink some water and let your body recognize what is it that it needs. So these are like very important steps. It's not easy. I know, trust me, it's not easy when all your mind can think about is food and you have specific cravings. Sometimes you crave sweet, sometimes you crave savory. It's not easy to have this battle going on and be like, okay, I'm gonna take my time, pause a little bit, and then come back like thinking, oh, I don't need food. Like, that's not how it goes, and I know that. But these are some ways to prevent overeating and at least give yourself some time, okay, to think about it. Maybe go for a walk. That's something that really works for me, to calm my mind down and listen to something interesting, especially if it's related to psychology and our minds and our behavior, because that is something that makes you think about your actions and kind of helps you to stay away from that thought process that is very, very tough on your mind. So yeah, really good podcast, definitely recommend. She talks about really interesting topics and gives some ways and examples of how to deal with the overeating and cravings. And this is the topic that is super important when you are trying to be on a weight loss journey and have a specific diet and control how much you eat. And yeah. Now, as I said, with the process that comes with motivation, there always will be times when the motivation is gone. And so what do we do after that? It's, for me, what really is helpful is journaling. So writing down, why am I doing this? Why is it so important for me? What values does this have? For example, how is it important for me to work out at least 30 minutes throughout the day? How it really benefits not just for my body but my brain? How is it good for me to take walks? How do I feel after walks? How do I feel after a workout? How do I feel after overeating and after eating healthily? And you kind of see, basically, when you write it down, you visually see and read the benefits of healthy actions and the bad things that come with unhealthy habits that we have developed. And you kind of give yourself actual examples of why certain things are good and why certain things are bad. And based on that, you kind of help yourself and trick your mind into thinking that, okay, whether I'm feeling like it or not, workout is good for me, so let's do it. Taking a walk is really, really helpful for me, so let's go do it. Eating healthy food and not overeating and not consuming lots of sugar and processed food, these are the things that are better for me and will maintain my body healthy, and so I should do it. So these are the things that really help me, is journaling and writing down everything, my experiences, my feelings, and also the pros and the cons of healthy and unhealthy habits. At the same time, what helps me a lot is visualizing. So I have calendars for my workouts or diets, and I basically color every day when I do workout. And seeing that you have a full line of colored days, that's really that's a feeling that like it's fulfilling. It's pride, it is happiness that comes with it, and for me that's really important. So if you're a visual person, to also see the progress visually, right? Like sometimes I forget like which day is it that I've been working out, which days that I've been keeping my diet, and to see that, it makes you feel really good, and it also helps you to kind of be aware of like how long you've been doing this, and how long has it been, and visualizing is really important. So that's what really helps me, and it also motivates you, like, okay, I've been doing this for like 2 weeks now. It would be so sad to kind of put it away for one day, okay, but 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, like to not do anything, that's kind of, it feels like it's unfair for yourself, to yourself. And so definitely visualizing the progress is very important. There's this viral 75 hard challenge, and in this challenge there is this also one task, which is like take a picture of yourself every day, because sometimes we forget, one, like how long we've been doing this thing, and also where we started from and how far we have come. And so it's important to kind of like have this visual proofs that really gives your brain these signals of happiness and success and progress, and that's super important. With that being said, I kind of want to conclude my video and say that everything starts from self-love, and everything that you do is for yourself. Nobody really knows what work you have put into your lifestyle, into your career, into your body, whatever it is. Nobody really knows, only you know. And what's more important is that you are doing this for yourself. And so this is the start point. It's the most important part, I think, in the journey of self-improvement, and especially I kind of focused it more on weight loss and eating habits, and this is where it all should be coming from the point of self-love. And when you realize that you love yourself no matter what, this is when you want to do the best for yourself, and the best for yourself is healthy diet, healthy lifestyle, moving yourself, moving your body, and maintaining the health of your body, because this way we will live longer, we will get the chance to experience living on this beautiful planet for a longer time, and gathering more memories. And it's just super important to start from there, and know that not every time your journey will not be perfect. Okay, we all have failures, and I just a few days ago experienced overeating, and I was in tremendous pain physically, but I also had to go through that to come to an analyzation of like, oh my goodness, like what am I doing to myself? This is so unfair. This is the body that wakes up every single day to take me to work, to give me an opportunity to meet people, to give me the opportunity to be part of nature, to experience love, experience some hurtful feelings as well, happiness, joy. How can I treat my body this way? And so definitely make sure you are giving yourself a lot of love, but also patience, because as I said, the journey will not be perfect, but that's the beauty of it. It feels really good to push yourself. It feels really good to be in control of yourself, and it is amazing to also see results in the end. So thank you guys so much for watching. I want to remind you about what is happening in Georgia. It is very important for me to just raise awareness about the topic, and it would be very helpful if you did your research and shared some information. There's been interviews from the side of BBC, there were some videos on their Instagram as well, and so if you want to kind of do your research through social media, CNN, BBC have published information about this topic. If you're from Europe, Germany publishes a lot and talks about this topic, but I think overall people are not informed about what's happening right now in the country of Georgia, and it is super important for us to become part of European Union. And because of our illegitimate government, it has become impossible, and it also has become struggle for people to live there. They have been arresting people illegally, they have been physically abusing people who are just in a very democratic, very peaceful way, protesting in the streets. And so it would be very helpful if you shared some information about my country. I wish you the best. I wish you to feel the happiest, to feel like you have achieved all your dreams or your goals, and there is so much more to come in your life. Please take care of yourself. This is a reminder for myself as well, and for you to just take care of yourself, love yourself, and remember that this is the only body that you are given in this lifetime, and you should be taking care of it and giving as much love as possible. Everybody else's opinion is just a noise. What matters is you and your actions. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested, please subscribe to my channel. I have some other interesting videos that I have already uploaded, meal plans, self-care, and some daily vlogs. And yeah, thank you guys. Sending you lots of love.